You know, Halloween is a very strange holiday. Tonight's show, which I totally wash my hands of, is really scary. So if you have sensitive children, maybe you should tuck them into bed early tonight instead of writing us angry letters tomorrow.
Lovely.
Hello and welcome
What the hell?
to episode.
Man, re-record that. What was that? Anyway, episode. What's it? What episode? That was all wet.
Oh god, that hurt.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm still recovering from that.
That didn't sound pleasant.
No, I hope not. Welcome to episode 126 of the Parapod. This is your Halloween 2023 special. I'm really hoping that burp just jump scares someone.
There'll be random jump scares just interspersed throughout this episode. Ah!
Just randomly fucking pop it. Just peek it constantly. All right, so our recommended film for this episode is Ring or Ringu. It's not called The Ring. Did you notice that? It's called Ring.
I noticed it's stylized as the lowercase ring in some countries.
In some
many,
countries,
many other countries,
Yeah,
it's just ring.
Just
yeah.
Ring. Like even the poster just here just says Ring.
Ring.
Anyway,
And Ringu's only in America. I didn't realize that.
oh what?
Yeah, it's like it wasn't called that in Japan.
What was it called in Japan?
I don't know.
Ring.
They
Oh no,
just-
wait.
They title it by
There you
what
go.
an American would think a Japanese accent is in the United States.
It's like,
Ringu.
Ringu. What the fuck,
This
American?
will sell like fucking hotcakes.
Well, there's Japanese writing just there, and I'm not even going to attempt to try and pronounce it because I don't know how to pronounce anything in Japanese.
That's Hijari.
This movie is about a mysterious video has been linked to a number of deaths, and when an inquisitive journalist finds the tape and views it herself, she sets in motion a chain of events that puts her own life in danger. I don't know why I bothered reading out the synopsis of this film, because everybody fucking knows what the synopsis of The Ring is.
Everyone knows the ring.
Everybody knows The Ring. But is The Ring good? We'll find out in like 45 minutes to an hour, but
The
Hook?
question will finally be
Yeah.
answered in 45 minutes.
in 45 minutes. Like, not our discussion will be 45 minutes, but that we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll have a final answer.
We have a whole rundown of horror movies to discuss though first. And some that aren't horror movies. Like maybe our recommended film. But anyway, that's
That's a debate we can have later.
oh shit. Fucking knee in the microphone. Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah, how's your Halloween? What'd you get up to?
Fuck me, man. I fucking hate Halloween.
You don't like Halloween?
No, I like, okay, right.
I love Halloween.
I hate Halloween. Like
the
the day.
commercialization,
No,
man.
I hate the day of Halloween.
Yeah, okay.
Because I fucking feel like I should be doing something. Like, I feel like I should be doing more with my day.
Yeah, I don't
Every
think
Halloween I
I've-
feel slightly depressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever done anything on the day of Halloween. I can't remember.
I don't know. Every time it gets to Halloween, I like feel grand. On the day, I'm like, I just feel depressed today, and I don't know why.
It's the spirits speaking to you.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe something.
Well, it depresses and you feel like you should be at a party or at an event. Or
Man, if
out trick-or-treating.
I feel like that. Like, if I was meant to have a party, I'd be like, I'm not fucking going. I just should. Every
Yeah.
Halloween, I just wake up and like, I just feel down, and I don't know what it is. But it's
Down.
every Halloween.
That's kind of weird.
Also, can't be ours dressing up.
Yeah, no, I don't like dressing up. I haven't dressed up now since I was a wee child. You've had some banger costumes over the years, to be fair to you.
I was
know.
Roger Rabbit last year.
Yeah.
See that? Do you know why I put effort into that? Because it wasn't on fucking Halloween. That's why.
Yeah.
Was
that's
it?
That's it.
Wait,
Wait, hold on a second.
I was making that statement like,
Record scratch.
what's he like? Hold on a second. Wait, was it? Shit, maybe it
It
was.
was like the best night of your life.
Yeah,
last
no
year.
shit. Maybe it
October
was.
31st.
Where's my phone? I need to check that. Here I am making a statement saying, I always feel really down on Halloween, but I actually think
It's just, there's like pictures of you from like the last 10 years, all marked October 31st. It's like parasailing, skydiving, going to the parties, dressing up as Mario.
Ah, yeah, it was the 30th. It wasn't the 31st, though.
No,
That's-
31st is
yeah.
cursed. But
Yeah.
just because there's little kids running around, fireworks going off, it's kind of disturbing. All the dogs are really sad as well. I think that kind of a dog people are kind of feel that vibe.
Sam has gotten to the stage now of age where the fireworks are going off and he is not reacting whatsoever. I don't know if it's that he can't hear it or he doesn't care anymore.
He just doesn't care.
He's
He's not in it anymore.
Yeah.
Just, his heart's on it. He just
Yeah,
couldn't.
it's gotta be
He
arsed.
couldn't give a rat's to give out about the fireworks.
It's just like, oh yeah, I've had this every year of my life so far. I'm sure I'll be fine this time. Yeah, he's not. He just didn't react whatsoever. Like literally just laid in bed the entire fucking day.
My dog's never really reacted either. But my mom's dog that she has now is like, shakes like a leaf. Reacts very poorly to it. Doesn't take it well. She gets really scared. Just like kind of hides. Like it shakes like a leaf. It's so sad.
Yeah,
She's so small and so cute.
poor dogs.
Yeah, I feel bad for the dogs and the cats.
Yeah,
Poor cats.
Millie was spooked.
Yeah, I'd say so.
She just fell asleep the entire day then today. Just
Yeah.
slept because of the
Stress.
constant anxiety and stress that she
Yeah.
had yesterday.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's spooky.
Spooky.
Something off.
But yeah, Halloween, like, I don't know. It's kind of. Is it a mid-holiday?
I completely would disagree with that. Completely. I think it's an amazing holiday. I think the problem is, and your problem as well, is the day itself. But for me, the best part of Halloween is the aura around it. You know?
That is true.
It's like the radius of Halloween. Even right now, I think first 10 days of November, it's still Halloween. You know?
Yeah,
They're putting out the Christmas lights on my road. The council. Don't know what that's about. It's like why like Brown Thomas understand why the council doing it? Who asked for that? But anyway, this is still Halloween. So is all of October pretty much. You get the crunchy leaves, the cool crisp, like the crispness in the air. It's really cold, but it's also like sunny out.
I think that
And it's like, ooh, you get horror films on TV and stuff. No, I don't watch TV, but still.
I think I didn't feel like that this year because it was so fucking warm.
True, it wasn't
Fuck
great.
me. I was wearing shorts in certain days of October.
Yeah. But now it's
Now,
winter.
man, it's cold, man.
Now it's cold.
Now it's cold. I was wearing a coat and a jumper today, and my hands were freezing. I was like, yeah, this is what I want.
Yeah. And it was nice. And
Fucking inject me with that cold.
it didn't rain. It wasn't like cloudy or anything like that. It's just cold. Like,
Just
I
cold.
love that. I love that.
That is what you want.
Yeah, stepping on all the crunchiest leaves. Going out of my way, walking zigzag motions. Just getting that haptic feedback from my feet to my brain. So
Haptic feedback.
This is Halloween.
Yeah.
This true Halloween.
Yeah, the 1st November is notoriously actually Halloween.
That actually is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, All Souls Day, isn't it? Something like that.
Yes. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
this
yes.
is the month of the dead, isn't it? November is. This is the real Halloween,
It makes sense, man. Like, I feel like it makes sense, man.
What does that mean?
Makes sense.
Yeah, that adds up.
No, that makes sense because it's like All Hallows Eve is obviously Halloween, and then All Hallows Day.
Yeah.
No, All Hallows Day. Am I making that up? All Hallows? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Wait, did we go to college there?
What the fuck? Where did we go to college? We went to
All Hallows.
All Hallows, yeah. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
That's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm having a stroke trying to think of this. And All Hallows Day.
Maybe. Is it All Souls Day? Maybe I'm wrong. I think
Oh no, Souls
but-
Day. I think
but-
you're right.
But thinking that up, I can't remember where I heard that. Maybe I might have made that up.
You know what?
We need a fact check here.
All Hallows
Got our interns
Day.
working on
Oh
this.
wait, here we go. All Hallows Day. For a second, I came up with Wednesday. I was like, today's not Wednesday. Shit, today is Wednesday. Yeah, All Saints Day.
All Saints Day. So
All Saints
we're both
Day.
wrong.
All Saints Day, also called All Hallows Day. Hallowmass. That's not real. That is not real. No one calls it Hallowmass or Feast of All Saints in the Christian Church, a day commemorating all the saints of the church, both known and unknown, who have attained heaven. Now, having said that, that is some Christian bullshit. I'm out here trying to find.
That's not Halloween.
That's not Halloween. I'm
All
trying to find out
Souls
what
Day.
pagan.
All Souls Day is tomorrow, actually. Apparently. Well, yeah. What's the pagan? What is today in pagan calendar?
pagan day after Halloween. I should probably look it up in like the Sound is believed to have Celtic pagan origins. Yeah, no shit. What the fuck is the day afterwards called? All Souls Day. Yeah, you're right.
All Souls Day. Well,
The day
tomorrow.
after. The day after Samhain
When is Sound?
is October 31st.
Is it? This
Yeah.
is All Souls Day is November 2nd. Hold on.
How do
The technicalities of this.
Oh, that's why. Sound is observed from sunset on October 31st to sunset on November 1st.
Ah.
So we are technically still in Sound.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Now it's All Souls Day.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
So yeah, it is Halloween now, basically.
Yeah, more or less. You know, we're off, but you know, whatever.
About an hour off.
Yeah. Yeah. So that makes then November the month of the dead.
Yeah.
When is actually the De la Muerte? When is that? What's that called?
The Dia de la Muerte.
Yeah,
Is that not like 4th of May or something?
I've no idea.
Sorry, what are we talking?
Yeah, I have no idea.
The 5th, is it?
I don't know, Mark.
Oh.
Like, what? Like, if you can give me a month, I'm happy with that. I don't need the exact day. Is that similar? Is that a similar thing to Samhain?
Oh no, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the it's November 1st and 2nd.
November. So Day de la Muerte is now.
It's today.
That's well. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is Halloween.
It is Halloween.
Still it's all the same
Yeah.
shit, you know. It's all the same thing. Yeah, Dia de la Muerte. Happy Feliz Dia de la Muerte to all our Mexican and Latino listeners.
I had to stop myself from making some form of a joke there. I'm not gonna. I had to fight for my life not to say anything there, Mark. I'm joking.
But of course, sincerely, yes. Yeah, it's still Halloween though.
I don't even know what I was gonna say, but I knew it was gonna be racist somehow. Okay, right.
It's a day when all races come together.
Okay, I think we need
United
to
in death.
United in death. United in how much we disliked Exorcist 2, maybe? I think I might have hated this movie.
I think that also unites all races.
Fucking hell, right? Let's move on. Jesus, that.
Exorcist 2.
Oh my god, I don't even edit these podcasts that much anymore. I need to edit that bit out.
If you want to hear what Owen actually said, you're gonna have to subscribe to our Patreon.
Did he say anything? Did he just stare at Mark for an
He said it again.
amount of time? No one will know. Okay, Exorcist 2. This is part of our Exorcist franchise review. Kind of fucked it because we're not going to do The Exorcist because we talked about that movie way in the past. And we're not going to do all the movies in this franchise. Namely because, Mark, did you know in the 2000s, there's 2 Exorcist movies that came out one year after the other. They are the same movie, apparently.
What do you mean?
Liam had told me this. Now, if this is wrong, someone give it to Liam because I didn't fact check this whatsoever. But some guy that we know that directed a movie, directed an Exorcist movie. That movie was then taken and re-edited and changed around. But it's the same movie, basically, and they were released 1 year apart. Like, it has the exact same cast and everything.
Why?
I have no idea. Maybe we could do that. I don't want to watch the same movie fucking twice. But if it's interesting, if
it's interesting.
If what Liam said is true, then maybe. I think it's 2004. Yeah, Exorcist at the beginning, and then it's Exorcist. Yeah, Exorcist the beginning, and Exorcist. Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist. But you'll notice.
What a title.
You'll notice that prequel to The Exorcist and Exorcist the beginning mean the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Apparently, they're the same movie,
That is so weird.
but they're released. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård is in them. Maybe.
Wait, hold up. Paul Schrader made.
Yes, it's Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader
Yeah, apparently
made
it's,
Dominion to the
apparently
Exorcist.
it's fucking ass. But yeah, I knew it was someone famous. I couldn't remember who though. But yeah, Paul Schrader.
I like in my head, he'd be like, if they were making an Exorcist reboot, I'd be like, put Paul Schrader in that seat, because he's like the guy for that. You know, all the themes, like the religious stuff. You know, the spookiness as well. Well, maybe he's not the guy, but he would be. I feel like he would have had a great take on it, but apparently not. That is so weird that he did that. So strange.
Yeah, so it says about for Dominion prequel to The Exorcist. The film was intended to be the official prequel to The Exorcist before it was retooled to turn into Exorcist the Beginning. Because the producers or executives feared the already completed film would be unsuccessful. It received a limited release. You know.
That's so strange.
But yeah, that's not The Exorcist 2, but that's the reason why we might not do the whole franchise.
I feel like that is interesting. The fact that Paul Schrader did it might be interesting enough to watch it on 1.5 speed and then
And then the next one on 3 speed.
yeah,
I'm never that.
and see where it went wrong.
Yeah.
We can tell Paul on Facebook.
Yeah, what the fuck, Paul?
Yeah, what's up? Well, Adam, we'll tag him in the post.
Because like in my head, like yeah, as you said, like Paul Schrader will be the one to do the like an Exorcist film, because he kind of, I'm not gonna say he's similar to William Friedkin, but he could tell if a movie's fucking bad.
Yeah. Like he's an amazing director, an amazing writer, you know. And all his stuff is about. Maybe the thing is he's a Calvinist. Exorcist is Catholic.
There you go.
That's what went
There's
wrong.
a problem. It's not Catholic enough.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
But
You know,
no,
it's similar to
it
the
is
problem
really
with this fucking movie. This movie isn't Catholic enough either.
weird. Yeah.
This
I'm not
movie's
sure what this movie is.
This movie's far too fucking sci-fi.
Yeah, it just really goes off the wall. It's not what I was expecting at all from an Exorcist sequel.
Is it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
Not even close. I didn't think this was. I heard this wasn't a good movie. To be fair, I'd never heard of it at all, really, to be honest. Like only like bits and pieces in the last. You'd see a reference every now and then. I just assumed it was always bad. Anyone who ever watched the series would always say, "Oh, all the sequels are shit."
Mm-hmm.
I was
Except for
expecting.
the third one. Apparently the third one's decent.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be dog shit, and it kind of is, but it also like it's just most of the film is just not worth watching.
It's not as dog shit as you thought it was going to be.
Like it's not actively bad, but it's not a film that you're just wasting your time watching it. So I wouldn't like. There's the two different things I think. You know?
Yes, there are.
So it's not. It's not as bad as it could have been, but it's still rubbish.
Yeah,
It's just
like,
rubbish.
It's as if, I don't know what a comparison would be. It's as if you stepped in shit, and instead of it being, bullshit, it was dog shit. It's like, well, I'd rather stand in dog shit than bullshit.
Yeah. It's not a huge patty, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a huge fucking flat lump sticking to your entire shoe. It's just like a small, like a chihuahua shit.
Yeah,
But now it's like stuck in between like the grooves of your soul and stuff. You have to dig it out with a stick,
yeah.
you know. So it's
But
like,
you didn't slip in it.
yeah, you didn't slip, and like it's not going to stink out the gaff, you know, because you can just scrape it off at the porch before you go inside.
Yeah.
But it's still extremely inconvenient and just kind of like annoying.
It does vaguely ruin your day.
It does vaguely ruin your day. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I really like if someone like you get, a bit of water falls on you from above, and you think it's piss, but then you lick, you taste
You
it.
lick. It's like, I think it's piss. We just taste
It
this.
turns out it's only like it's like orange juice or something like that. You know? It's like, why the fuck did someone pour orange juice on me from above?
They don't smell like orange juice.
Well, it's still annoying, but it doesn't ruin your day.
Yeah.
This film didn't ruin my day, but I was just like, this is just not a good film. It goes into weird sci-fi territory, and then I think the worst part is the fact that it basically tries to turn Reagan into a superhero. That's how I kind of read it.
Full disclosure for the audience. I was watching this movie and I was paying this thing my attention. I blanked out for 40 minutes in this movie. I've never experienced that with a movie.
Yeah, I had to reread the plot summary earlier today because I was like, wait, what happened in like the whole first or like the entire middle third of that film?
Okay, entire middle third, I couldn't tell you what was happening, and I was like, I wasn't on my phone. I was watching the movie, and then afterwards, I like came to and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening in this movie, and then I was like, I've like 20 minutes left. I'm my arse to finish this movie. So whatever happens to the last 20 minutes of this movie, I have no idea.
Wait, you didn't watch the last?
No, I
20?
didn't even. Didn't even.
Man, you missed You missed some of it. You didn't really miss a lot, to be fair.
I just couldn't be arsed, man. I think this movie is as bad as I thought it was going to be. Because
Really?
I've never experienced that with a movie before, where I'm actively watching it and I just phase out and just like blank out, and I just can't.
That is really weird.
That is how fucking boring. I think my eyes were on the screen. I think I fucking daydreamed for 40 minutes while watching this movie.
Just thinking about it. So, what will I get in the shop? The fridge is, it's kind of empty. Just thinking about life. I was kind of glazing over as well. But like, I watched the film, but maybe I wasn't paying attention properly. I watched it yesterday, and then today I had to reread what exactly had happened.
Okay, so can you explain what the ending of this movie? Like, what happens at the ending of this movie?
The ending of the movie is full of spoilers.
Yeah, full spoilers. I can tell you the last thing I remember. That's not the same thing as the last thing I watched. Okay, the last thing I remember.
This is like the opening of the film.
Yeah. Reagan is talking to a mute girl, and she starts talking out loud, and the man.
That's literally the first 20 minutes of the film.
Oh fuck me! What else happened? What else happened? Is the guy?
Oh, maybe it's maybe like near the halfway point.
The guy goes off to like Iraq or something, and he starts getting pelted with rocks, and Reagan feels the same thing.
Yeah, he gets. And she's like tap dancing and stuff.
Yeah. Is that after she talks to your one?
I think it's after. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! I can't remember this movie at all.
Because the whole gist of it is basically that Reagan is.
She's still possessed.
No. Did you get to? Yeah. So the whole thing is Reagan basically is superhuman, and there is. Remember the whole first? There's like a whole sequence. Like the film is like.
I can tell you now that opening bit where they're first like hooked up to things, and you're seeing scenes from the OG film play over, or like double exposure over what's happening, and it looks like shit. It looks so bad. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
No. The sequence where it's in Africa. Basically, the chap, what's his name, Lamont.
Sure.
The priest.
Yeah.
The priest guy.
He's a really bad actor.
He's like the Dr. Loomis of this.
Yeah.
He's just some priest who's trying to fucking drive the plot forward, basically. Because he's sick of
this movie needs a main character.
Yeah, the film needed a main character. So he just chose some random guy, and he just does all these random things. The film is bizarrely confusing for no apparent reason. But there's a sequence where Lamont, for reasons that I actually can't remember either, is kind of taken on a trip by Pazuzu. And he's like flown over. He's flown into the past.
Oh, I think I remember.
It's like this place in Africa where there's a kid called Kukumo or something.
Yeah.
And the kid is similar to Reagan, where he's been possessed, or he has power. He has some kind of psychic ability, and he enters into this kind of like battle, like it's like a self-exorcism nearly with Pazuzu. And the priest is there, psychically in the past to experience this whole thing. And he's like, from this, he extrapolates that this kid in Africa, who would now be a grown man, which is where he goes off in the plot, he goes off to find the kid. This kid and Reagan are part of a new race of superhumans, basically. They don't say that, but basically like a more evolved version of mankind, who can communicate with each other telepathically. And that the demons want to stop this, basically. Exactly. It doesn't.
This movie is as bad as I heard it was. Fucking.
It's dancing on the grave. It's just not the same film at all as the original film.
Why would you look like that? Just sounds like Doctor Sleep to me.
It actually.
This plot that you just described is Doctor Sleep.
Maybe that makes Doctor Sleep more shit. Because it just copies The Exorcist 2.
Yeah. What's like Stephen King? Where'd you get the idea for Dr. Sleep? The Exorcist 2.
Yeah. It's a really bad film I watched in the 80s.
Of all fucking things, The Exorcist 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember the big locust.
The locusts, yeah.
That thing looks like shit.
So the locusts are kind of like obviously
the plague.
Yeah, the embodiment of
evil.
Oh yeah, of Pazuzu. And yeah, they're just kind of a theme in the film, but like the place they go with Reagan's powers, the fact that Reagan has powers in the first place is just
just stop it right there.
It just
His powers.
It basically ends the film as a viable sequel to The Exorcist. It actually actively, if you account for this within the Exorcist canon, it actually makes the first film less scary.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh no, like the first one is like supposed to be kind of, oh, this could happen to anybody, you know. This was based on a true story. It's like it's in a suburb. This could be your daughter. This could be you. Oh no, wait. It was a superhuman telepath who was attacked by like the unseen forces of Satan, and like we're in some kind of like, it's not even a holy war. It's like a techno religious war.
Yeah.
Where mankind is trying to advance and Satan is trying to pull them back. Usually that's not how it works in literature anyway. Usually it's the reverse. Usually that's the whole thing with technology, is that Satan is the one doing it, which I don't know. That's okay for them though. It doesn't really make any sense.
Tell you, this movie's not Catholic enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, they would have been like, oh, you can't. No,
What are you doing, lads?
Oh, lads,
Get away with
don't
that.
be doing that. Oh, but Jesus, Reagan.
There's no Christ in the movie. Get away with that.
There's no communion here. It just falls apart, and Reagan basically goes off to obviously they defeat the demon, and Reagan goes off. Reagan disappears at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And goes off with Lamont, I believe. Just disappears. It's like her psychiatrist burns alive. This whole thing happens. There's a showdown with Pazuzu.
Did you see Pazuzu?
Just diversion. So there's this other weird thing with basically Pazuzu incarnates herself, I don't know.
Itself.
As a doppelganger.
Themselves.
As a succubus doppelganger of Reagan, who tries to seduce the priest. And there's a brief moment where
Fucking don't like that.
Where
Don't like that.
Reagan is in the room, and she's like, "Oh, like, help me, Mr. Priest." And the priest is just too horny for the succubus, who is also Reagan, but like slightly more demonic, obviously. And he like joins the dark side very briefly, and they start having sex, but then he kind of snaps out of it, and they
Damn, he boned a demon for fucks.
yeah.
Shit, maybe I do need to watch the end of this
It's
movie.
cold. It's like, but it sounds kind of like funny, but it's too confusing.
I
And
think this movie is so confusing.
yeah. Like it sounds like it could be so bad it's kind of funny and enjoyable and like interesting in a bad way.
Yeah.
But I just found it too confusing, and too much of the film is, as you say, kind of like lures you into hypnosis.
With how fucking boring it is.
Yeah, where you're like, it's too kind of convoluted to follow easily, but it's also not interesting enough for you to want to follow it. You know,
That is it.
You know?
Oh my god, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
The movie is so fucking dull and boring that by the time the film like steps it up a notch, you're half asleep and you can't pay attention to what's going
you're just
on.
like, I don't really care what's happening.
It's like as if I don't know, if you're watching. The fuck was that noise? It's as if you were watching like, I don't know, Satin Tango's like most boring fucking scene for 30 minutes, and all of a sudden you're just thrown into like, I don't know. I don't want to say Inception, but I say Inception. I was trying to think of a confusing movie.
Yeah. What a double bill.
In fact, yeah, I will say Inception because you look at the whole helmet things.
Yeah. The whole thing about there's like a sci-fi element to the film where to harness, or it's when they're just kind of discovering Reagan's abilities, that for some reason there's like it's called a sync. It's a device that the priest and Reagan and her therapist at various points in the first act of the film wear to communicate telepathically. And there's this whole thing where they see Pazuzu.
Yep.
And there's the weird overlays and the double exposure. And it's just nothing really to do with the first film at all.
Nope.
And they go on these big kind of there's big monologues, which I only like remember like a few like phrases from it about, the advance of science, about how the Catholic Church wants to kind of like limit its rhetoric in terms of talking about Satan because no one believes in Satan anymore because we live in a scientific world and technology. It's like they're trying to inject this subtext about technology versus spirituality, and the supernatural and things like that. But to get it completely the opposite way around to the way it usually is done.
Yeah.
But don't make it interesting enough to justify doing that anyway.
There's both too much and too little going on in this movie. Like there's like
Yeah,
so much going on in this movie, but it's got absolutely no depth whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just not interesting to follow.
Yeah, that's why I think this movie.
It's 2 hours long. Why is it 2 hours long?
It's so long.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
2 hours.
Fucking hell, and there's like 45 minutes that you just blank out. I got an hour left in this movie and I didn't fucking finish. I was like, I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
There's other things I'd rather be doing, like fucking
Taking a shit.
sticking pins underneath my fingernails. There's an image of everyone. But yeah, do you think this is worse or better than Believer?
I think it's better than Believer, yeah.
Same.
Just because Believer was really bad. And I think it was more insulting to the original. Whereas this is
I don't know about that.
I would say so. I would say it's more, but it depends how you look at it. But this film seems more like just kind of like a Halloween tree, like an aborted Halloween tree, where it's just going off in a totally different direction.
Yeah, I feel like with this film, it's way less insulting that it's. I think it like disregards the original film more so than Believer, but does so in a way that it's like it makes more sense because like this is just a studio movie,
and it doesn't constantly like it obviously it's the same characters, but it's not being like remember the Exorcist.
Yeah, I don't think
that.
I don't think that the people that were making this movie were trying to show love for the original film. Whereas I fully believe that David Gordon Green probably did think I need to pay my respects to the OG movie, and in doing so, kicked it down the stairs.
Yeah, possessed it.
Yeah. But this movie, I'm like, you kind of know what you are.
Yeah, just kind of more of a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like an attempt at furthering the franchise. Like the whole point.
In a way that is just insane.
Yeah,
insane.
And it didn't work, really.
No.
Like the ending of the film is basically setting up as Reagan is going to go around, like Doctor Sleep kind of style, around the world battling demons, because she has super mind powers, you know.
Yeah.
So that seems if this film was made in the modern day, you'd go into its Wikipedia page and have a whole tab future. It'd be like the director signed on to a 4 picture deal with the studio or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that's the way it's set up. I don't know if that elaborates on that in the third one at all, but it's just a weird artifact.
Yeah. It is a weird artifact. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the third one because I've heard it actually is decent, and you have kind of convinced me that I'm now looking forward to those 2000s ones, because I was trying to think like outside of a movie that you watched that we will transition to in a bit. I can't think of like horror movie franchises that you forget are franchises. Like obviously you know that like the Friday the 13th franchise, Texas Chainsaw franchise. What are the other ones? You got Halloween franchise, obviously you know, and Child's Play, you know, stuff like that. But like if you turn to me and said there are no movies after The Exorcist, I would fully believe you.
Yeah.
Like I would fully believe you because I've never heard anyone talk about any of them, and I wonder how many franchises exist like that, where like the first film comes out and it's so big that I guess Blair Witch is kind of like that.
Yeah, Amityville Horror as well. No one has ever watched the sequels.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who's talked. I've never even heard of it.
Poltergeist is also kind of like that.
How many of them are there?
I think there's 3.
Yeah. So I've never heard of anyone watching them. I've never even seen a reference. I didn't know they exist until you just said that.
There's even a remake from the 2000s.
Yeah, there's a remake from recent, though.
Yeah. Probably is. Man, like every single fucking film, there's a fucking remake, and they're all dog shit.
Yeah.
Dog shit. Poltergeist is definitely one of them. I know at least that there's 2. There's definitely a second Poltergeist film. I want to say that there's a third. You know, Psycho would be one of the mark. Until you reminded me that there's a Psycho 2.
Psycho 2.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
There is a Psycho 2. This was the whole thing. Yeah, Psycho 2. There's a second Psycho. It was made many years. I think it's like 22 years afterwards.
I was right. There is 3 Poltergeist movies.
3 Poltergeist movies. No need, says I. You know, Psycho 2 is kind of a weird film that I'd also never heard of until very, very recently. There's several films in the series, actually. I don't know how many. But basically no one watched any of them.
Because why would they?
Because why would they? Because Psycho 2, in itself, never seen it before, never heard about it, no one's ever talked to me about it, I'd never read about it, anything like that. I just went into it, I seen Psycho 2. I was actually looking up Exorcist 2. I was finding it hard to find.
Fucking Christ alive. Have you ever seen the fucking poster to Psycho 3?
Let's see. Oh.
Is that the worst? Can we put that...
We'll put that on the cover.
Insta,
Yeah.
We didn't watch
That's
this movie, but...
Yeah, but close enough. That's kind of like... Yeah, he looks a bit rough. Anthony Perkins being Norman Bates from Psycho 1.
Yeah.
Or like Psycho, you know. He's looking a bit rough in this film, and he ages very quickly. I think he had like a very bad, like serious disease. He died quite soon after these. But yeah, it's a 1983 American psychological slasher film. It's not a horror film. Like, you know, sometimes people say like Psycho's a horror film. We kind of disagree
They're
with that.
fucking liars.
Generally, it's not really a horror film, is it?
No.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
not. It's a slasher film. Maybe even then, I would hesitate to say that.
Can I give my boldest take?
Your boldest, the most well-known take.
My boldest, like, film take.
Do it.
You know, the scene from Psycho. I don't think that scene is very good.
Why?
I think it looks really... Like, obviously, like, you know, the people are talking like, oh, man, obviously the music is iconic.
She's so hot.
Yeah, she's so hot. Like, it's great.
That's why everyone likes it.
You know, the music is great. The constant running of the shower is great. It's like everything with the scene is great. The slashing down, trying to stab her, looks so incredibly bad. And they show, like, there's bits where it's like because people are always like, oh man, with the cuts you can feel it. No, you can't, you fucking liar. No, you can't, because you can see that the actor is not trying to hit her with the knife. At least in the likes of, like, a movie that we watched this weekend, Texas Chainsaw, they cut way before they start and stick her onto the hook. So, like, your brain fills in the blank. My brain doesn't have to fill in any blanks here because I'm looking at a man purposely miss a woman with a knife as it quick cuts. Right, yeah. I can see blatantly that he's not trying to hit her with it. Yeah.
It is. It looks a bit funky, but I think that's kind of an artistic choice, no?
Nah, go fuck yourself. It doesn't work for me. Greatest horror movie scene of all time. Get fucked.
I would completely disagree with that.
Oh, you know for a fact that if you look greatest horror movie scenes of all time, that is number 1.
Yeah, it was on all the lists we were looking at last week, wasn't it? Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho's at least, you know, top 20, if not top 10.
Yeah, it's not a horror film. It's just not.
People say that's the OG slasher. Get out of
The
here.
OG slasher, like Peeping Tom. I like Psycho. I wouldn't say it's, you know, fucking all time.
I need to watch Psycho again because the first time I watched it, I was like, that is a boring ass lame movie. And that scene sucks.
Man, you're probably, you know, I don't think it would change much. We could watch it again though, yeah. But like Peeping Tom shits all over Psycho.
Oh fuck yeah!
I don't care.
Curb stomps.
If I haven't watched it in many years now, obviously, Psycho. But if I watch it again and it like exceeds my expectations, it still won't even get to a fucking fraction of what Peeping Tom is. It's not even close. You know, just in terms of horror, in terms of slasher, all that stuff. But Psycho 2 does not pretend to be a horror film at all. It's just the director actually, after it was produced, after it was released, all the retrospectives and stuff. Because it did have kind of like quite a different reception from when it was initially released to, you know, retrospective reception and stuff. The director said, yeah, this film basically shouldn't have had anything to do with the Psycho universe. You know?
Psycho universe.
the
Psychoverse.
Yeah, the extended Psychoverse. He said like that the film basically doesn't need to have anything to do with any of the characters from. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything with the story at all.
How many times does that happen in the Psycho franchise where it's like, this does not need to exist?
Yeah, like the
remake, yeah.
The Vince Vaughn remake. I actually liked that film.
I've never seen
when
it.
I watched it. I actually liked it, but I watched it before I watched Psycho.
Yeah.
And it's a shot-for-shot remake. But I thought it was alright at the time. But I'd say the beef people have with it, it's just like, why did you make this?
Yeah,
So
why does this exist?
What was the point of making this?
Yeah.
And Psycho 2, I wouldn't ask that question because it is actually like it's a pretty good psychological. Yeah, it's more psychological mystery film, if that's a genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a psychological thriller / mystery. I wouldn't say it's a slasher film now. It's more just it's like small town, who's the killer kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it follows Norman Bates 22 years or something after he killed all those people, and he's released on. He's paroled basically because they found that he's pretty normal again. You know, he's back to normal Bates. You know, it's like in the book. And he's released back into the wild. And obviously the townsfolk are all very suspicious of this guy. He moves back into his big old iconic gaff.
Spooky house in the hill.
Yeah, big spooky house in the hill. The motel has been like the Bates Motel has been turned into basically like a sex motel.
Nice.
So it's a seedy old spot, and he doesn't like that. And
Mother wouldn't like this.
Mother. And his gaff is regularly broken into by horny, dope smoking teenagers who have sex in the basement. So it's like a kind of like moral kind of
moral panic film.
No, not really. Like it more like kind of takes the piss out of the moral panic surrounding it. But like
fair enough.
That's just an aspect of the initial part of the plot. But yeah, Norman Bates doesn't like the motel owner, so he sacks him. And there's this whole thing, and Norman is forced to work in like a diner as part of his parole. Like he's minted, obviously, he owns a motel and stuff, but like I think as part of his release, he has to work as like a cook in a diner, and he befriends this woman. Her name is Mary, and there's all these things happen. And the motel owner comes into the diner, he gets all rowdy. Norman stands up, he's like, "Get the hell out of here!" And then he sees a knife. It's like, and like everything starts like. It's like, you know, the sound closes in, it's just inside his head, and everyone's looking at him, seeing what he's going to do. He looks at the knife, he stares it down, and he just turns around and walks away. And the entire way through the film, there's that kind of constant.
Is he gonna snap?
Is he gonna do it again? Is he gonna? And like that's actually a genuine mystery as well. I wasn't sure if it was just like, he's just gonna kill everybody again, you know. But it is actually genuinely a mystery. It has loads of red herrings. It is kind of Hitchcockian in that sense. Like it's kind of like an old style kind of narrative. Just in terms of the way it introduces characters and the use of red herrings, and just the way it kind of navigates the plot and the story. It's really cool. Basically, the sister of your one who gets stabbed in that famous shower scene, Lila Loomis, who is like kind of like ends up being the main character in Psycho. You know, which after several red herrings, turns out she's the main character. She comes back in this film, so she's back in town, hearing that Norman's been released, and she's got like a
bone to pick.
She's got a vendetta for this guy, and her daughter's also there. Her daughter Mary. Which is a twist, which I've just ruined. But basically, the whole thing is Mary was like working in the diner, knowing that Norm basically wanted to set him up. And the entire time they play on his paranoia and like his obvious mental illness, and they like you want Lila.
So they're the bad guy in this movie.
That's the thing. That's like kind of like it's like they're the bad guys. Oh, are they? Wait, is he killing people? Oh, maybe he isn't. Maybe they're. Oh, wait, is it the psychiatrist? It's like it's done kind of well. Like I didn't really know where it was gonna go. But like they're calling up his house and like talking to him, from the perspective of his mother. You know, being like, "Oh, Norman, it's your mother. I'm still alive."
This sounds pretty interesting, Mark.
It's good film. Like,
yeah,
it's a good film.
This sounds a lot better than I would have thought from the like. What do you do with the sequel to Psycho? Oh, we'll just.
Haven't killed yet. I just thought.
I mean, like, would you have the villain from the OG film be the good guy in the second one? But like, it's different, you know.
Yeah,
I would say he's the good guy in this one.
He's
but,
not
like,
the good guy at all. Yeah.
Like just like kind of playing with the roles and stuff like that.
It does well to do that, and it does well to keep you on your toes and to have you guessing. And like any time that you think you kind of figured it out, like it does a few times. When you feel like you figured it out, turns out you haven't figured it out, basically, which I like. I like that aspect of it, and yeah, they call up his gaff, and it's like it's mother on the phone, and Mary is, as it turns out, she starts living with Norman because she fears for him, but she also cares for him. She sees him as a friend, and more she's like kind of pulling out of the scheme that her and Lila are playing to kind of undermine Norman's his mental state. And she is actually convinced that Norman is beginning to like lose the plot, and like she'll be in the room, he'll pick up the phone, he'll talk to his mother, she'll grab the phone off, and there's no one there on the end of the line. It's not even her mother. It's just he's just talking to himself. Loads of people, obviously, people start going missing, weird things happening. People, his psychiatrist he's certain that there's something terribly wrong. Like either someone's trying to set him up, or Norman has gone off the deep end again. The sheriff is involved. All these different town stock characters are involved. One by one, a lot of them start going missing. It's not clear till literally the last 10-15 minutes what exactly is happening. I won't spoil it because it is a really cool. The way it ends is really cool. I think I thought it was a very interesting twist. I basically didn't see it coming, so I thought that was very clever.
Yeah.
Whereas when the first half an hour, the first 45 minutes nearly of the film, I'm like, I can kind of see what's about to happen here. I wasn't very interested really, but then it really picks up, and it's just it's very well done. It works well with the source material. It's just the only problem is it's just kind of like that's it. Like it's just kind of it's a cool elaboration of Psycho.
Yeah.
It's a good film. It's not an amazing film, but like it's still good. The only issue I don't really have a lot of issues with the film. The only thing is it just doesn't really go much further, and it can't obviously stand up to Psycho in terms of its effect in the canon. So in that sense, the director I think was correct in saying like it really didn't need to have anything to do with Norman Bates or Norma Bates or the Psycho extended universe. It could have just been a mystery thriller kind of thing, and it's perfectly fine as that. It's a good mystery thriller.
I mean, is that not just like the best case scenario for a Psycho 2?
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe it is. Yeah,
like, and like, because you're never gonna get a film as like as acclaimed as Psycho. Like, really,
yeah.
Ever very few movies are that well acclaimed.
Yeah, I think he just regretted tying it to Psycho because of how it kind of, the comparisons changed how people
watch it.
Yeah, it changed how people perceive the film. But I was more so impressed by how they managed to play it off. Like it feels Hitchcockian.
Yeah,
and it feels like a real murder mystery kind of thing.
It also came out years afterwards.
Yeah, in 1983, so long time afterwards.
Yeah.
And your man Anthony Perkins is great as Norman. Like he just does it really. He's a like great actor. Like just plays off really well. Like you feel really sympathetic toward him, but then you're like really suspicious of him, and then you're sympathetic towards him.
Yeah, that's
and then
good.
you're like, oh, this guy's the villain. He's killing everybody. And you're like, oh wait, is he? But the entire time he's making each step of that believable. He's like, it could happen over 10 minutes and you make that believable. It's very good.
Can I ask? Because I'm trying to imagine. Like, because he's saying like, oh, it was going to make people compare it to, Psycho 1. Just, I guess you do end up comparing it because it is a sequel. But do you think that people would have any form of hype for this movie?
Psycho 2, I don't know. The 80s was a weird time.
Like, I'm trying to imagine, like, what's a classic, at this stage, a classic? I guess movies from the 2000s will be considered classics now.
So, like, Glass, a sequel to Unbreakable.
Yeah, no one was hyped for that, were they?
No, but I suppose Unbreakable doesn't have the same kind of...
I guess it's about the people... Well, actually, no, people were hyped because they'd seen Split.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, now it's been two movies in the same universe. I can't think of like I don't know, if it came out and said, oh, Seventh Sense is coming out. I don't think anyone would be...
7-2.
7-2.
If 7-2 was coming out, Brad Pitt and...
I feel like that movie is going to be dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that movie's going to be good.
Everyone would know that film's
Fight Club 2, that movie's going to be dog shit.
But David Fincher's doing it.
No, even
Really?
so, I'd be like, that's going to be dog shit.
Yeah.
But also,
I would
Alfred
say
Hitchcock didn't do Psycho 2.
That's so true. It's so true. Yeah, no, you are right. You are right. Yeah, like if you're just expecting, it's
or are we just burnt out now because that's happened so many times to us in the 2020s
like,
/ 2010s?
Yeah, the more I think about it, it is probably the best scenario for like a separate sequel to an iconic film is Psycho 2, and it as a self-contained film as well. It works very. It doesn't like it's not like turns out Norman Bates has superpowers.
Yeah,
and
no,
he's
yeah.
gonna turn. He's gonna.
He actually respects the original material.
He
and
can
doesn't change
teleport
it.
through the walls, and that's how he's
Yeah.
actually saving all these people, or he's actually killing every. He just wants to, I don't know. There's a demon. Like it's just very. You can watch it. You can watch it without watching Psycho. Is the weird thing. You actually don't have to watch Psycho
That's
to watch this film.
interesting.
It's weird.
I came up with a comparison, but it is going to be the most insane comparison possibly ever.
Okay, let's go.
Avatar 2.
Avatar 2. What do you mean?
Like, I'm not comparing Avatar to Psycho. I'm not making that comparison. But a sequel that came out years later that, like, people are like, I was convinced. I was like, there's no way Avatar 2 is going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, behold, it's better than the OG.
Yeah, no, yeah. Avatar 2 is a great film. But, like, it was obviously made, in succession with Avatar. But it's pretty one of the rare examples where it actually does work. A sequel to an iconic film several years afterwards. So like I'd recommend Psycho 2 if you like that kind of movie.
Yeah,
I would recommend it.
I'll give it a go. Maybe am I asked to rewatch Psycho? I kind of am. There's a few movies that I'm like, oh, I kind of need to rewatch. Psycho is one of them. 2001. I also
2001. Oh, what a film!
I feel like I need to rewatch
2010. It's kind of similar to 2010. Like that was a good film.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a good comparison.
Similar.
That is.
It's same time frame as well.
Yeah.
Basically same time frame.
It's like,
It's like this is
surprisingly in 2010 isn't that shit.
yeah.
Like,
It's like this film's surprisingly good.
pretty alright.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie, but it's pretty alright.
Yeah. I think Psycho 2 is maybe a bit better than that. But yeah, it's still surprising that it managed to kind of land on its feet.
Yeah.
So to say.
Because like I just some of those specifically 2001. Because I think ever since I watched the movie, I have thought about it like at least once a month. I'm like, I need to rewatch that movie, but I need to rewatch it in a way that is not on the TV in my room. I need to watch it on a bigger screen.
We should go next time it's on Lighthouse or something like that.
Yeah, something
You can
somewhere.
watch it, yeah.
I need to watch it on a big screen
Mm-hmm.
and
You got locked.
be fucking tripping.
Yeah.
Just take a fucking 8 stabs of acid before I go in. It'll be a great time.
You just wait. You don't remember any of the film. Just wake up next day.
Greatest movie ever made.
Get glued to a mattress in an alley.
I was like, what happened to him? He's like, I just saw 2001.
Craziest film I've ever seen.
Tell you about it's a trip. No, because especially like I watched Star Trek, the motion picture.
Oh.
Yeah, I won't talk majorly about this because I don't really have a lot to say. It's a yeah. Okay, so like as people who listen to this podcast quite frequently may know, I got into Star Wars this year, and I'd always heard about Star Trek. I don't know a single person that has watched like a lot of Star Trek or has, major opinions about Star Trek. I haven't heard a single person express those. Like, not even online. I haven't even stumbled across a YouTube video about Star Trek.
Yeah, I just knew one guy who was always on the dole when I was younger, who had like a big Star Trek DVD collection. That's the only, and obviously from Futurama.
Yes.
Is the only
references.
the only cultural reference I have to Star Trek.
Yeah.
I've never met someone in real life who's a Trekkie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it referenced in any art, like any real media in terms of like articles and criticism or just people talking about it or YouTube videos.
Outside of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
That it's like it's specifically like Khan. That is it.
Yeah.
That is literally it. So I recently was able to purchase a collection of Star Trek for a much cheaper price than what it was going for. Outside a voucher in CX, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to grab this thing. Apparently this thing it was a collection. Apparently if you get it like even second hand, it's 150 quid. I was looking for 40 quid. I was like, I don't even like Star Trek, but that collection is cool and maybe I can get into Star Trek.
And now you're broke.
Now I'm broke. It was a voucher, so it's not like I had that money to begin with. But we move. Maybe I'll sell the Star Trek collection and then maybe money back.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
You just watch one film.
yeah, just watch one movie. Fuck this. Yeah. So, obviously, because Star Trek is a TV show, going into the first movie where it's called Star Trek: The Motion Picture should have gave me an indication that this is not for people that have no idea about Star Trek. This is not going to make any fucking allowances for the fact that you don't know anything about Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, this movie gave me... I still don't know what the fuck Star Trek is about.
Just lost in space.
I have more questions having watched this movie than got answered.
Is there no like background or context? No.
None whatsoever. I watched this movie and like they show the Enterprise and it's like
It's back.
Literally, it's like, oh, it's back. We got the spaceship back. I'm like, where did it go? Like, was it gone? Like, I don't know. I don't even know like when this movie came out in relation to what season or like what version of Star Trek was even out. Because it's like 4 different versions of Star Trek. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
There's like Next Generation. There's Voyager. There's the OG series. I'm fairly certain one called Dark something or other. Like there's so much Star Trek that it is like extremely intimidating. So I thought that the movie would be a good introduction. No, go fuck yourself. This is for people that are fans of Star Trek, which also kind of makes sense now why the franchise isn't as big as it could have been. I kind of feel like if you're making a movie for your series, obviously like tailor it somewhat for like fans of the franchise, but maybe open it up a little bit more so that people can be introduced into the franchise.
Yeah, it can't all be fan service. Otherwise it just gets forgotten. Like I've never heard anyone talk about Star Trek, the original movie, or the motion picture or whatever until now. Actually, until the weekend when
I
told
told
me
you
that
I
you
watched
watched
this
it.
movie.
I remember it used to be on Netflix. I remember I stuck on the actual series for a bit, and I just wasn't sure what was happening, so I just knocked it off. It must have been the I didn't find it interesting, but like it's probably why it's kind of fallen off the radar culturally.
Yeah,
because it's just so insular, and you need to know so much lore to be involved. Like it's not very accessible. It doesn't seem anyway.
Oh shit, the OG series is still on Netflix. That's mad.
Still there.
Fuck me, 30 episodes in season 1. Get the fuck out of here. Jesus. How much fuck? 3 seasons. Each season is over 20 episodes. Oh, fuck me. No. Like, yeah, like it's like makes no... Oh, I was right. No, it wasn't Dark. It was Deep Space Nine.
DS9.
Yeah, so there's 5 different... There's Star Trek The Next Generation, which is the one with Professor X. What the fuck's his name? Patrick Stewart. There is Deep Space Nine, which is the one with Colm Meaney in it. There is Enterprise, which is the 2004 version, and there is Voyager, which is the 2000s version. So Star Trek Voyager and Star Trek Enterprise were both airing at the same fucking time. My God.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
That is weird.
Is there not a new version, no?
I think there's a newer version as well, but
No, watch it.
like I just think like it makes like quite a bit of sense that Star Trek, because it's very much a TV show and not a film franchise. Even though there are films, it is much more so a TV show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that is reflective in the first movie. Like there's a 5-minute shot showing you the Enterprise, and as a person that's not a fan of a Star Trek, I don't give a fuck. Like it's just a spaceship that I've seen like cool toys of when I was a kid. I have no love for this thing whatsoever. If they even did that in Star Wars with like the Millennium Falcon, I'm like, fuck off. This is
who cares?
Like who cares? It's a fucking ship.
It's a fake ship. Come on.
Yeah, it just doesn't. And like, there's no explanation as to what Vulcans, are they what they're
The
called?
Vulcans, yeah.
Vulcans. It's like he's like kind of magic, I guess. I have no idea. This movie didn't explain it whatsoever. I think he's kind of magic.
He's actually half human, half Vulcan.
There you go.
I think Vulcans just an alien race, aren't they?
But like they're kind of magic.
Are they? I don't know.
He can like feel things and like sense things.
He's got
the force.
He's got vibes. He's got a vibe sensor.
He can check the vibes. Yeah, he's like a.
That's his role on the ship.
That's why his ears are pointed. There's vibe detectors.
Spock, check the vibe.
There's a character that like dies, I guess, in this movie, and I was like, I don't even know if that was a character was important or not, or if it was like some woman.
Oh,
she like dies, and then like, right. For what the actual movie is about,
what is the
so the movie itself is actually it's a kind of cool plot.
Yeah.
There is this like space cloud coming towards Earth. The only people that are close enough to go intercept it and like investigate what it is the Enterprise people. And I'm guessing from whenever this movie came out to whenever the TV show ended, or wherever the TV show ended, it ended in a way where Captain Kirk, I think I said Captain Kirk, he's the guy from Futurama, isn't he?
No, Captain Kirk, yeah.
Who's
Captain Zap Brannigan.
Brannigan?
It's based on Kirk, yeah.
Captain Kirk was no longer the captain of the Enterprise, because there's a whole like reunion scene where he's coming back. So I'm guessing that he was gone for a bit and now he's back. I have no idea. Again, this movie doesn't explain it, so I don't fucking know. So they go off to investigate this like space cloud, and it is revealed that the space cloud is a living thing. It's not like, because they think it's a spaceship, that there's like a ship or something inside, but it's revealed that it's like the cloud itself is like an entity, and it is absorbing life forms and like has like a memory that you can see when you're in the cloud, and it's like proper sci-fi like investigation of like mad ideas. And the space cloud, can't remember what it's called, but it has a name, and it's going to Earth to meet the Creator. And
who's that?
God.
Ah.
And there's a bit where they're talking about like what he thinks that he's gonna go, or like, you know, it thinks it's gonna go there and meet God or come face to face, and it's like he won't be able to do that because he's not human. And they don't mean like God won't come down to you because you're not human. You can't. The creature is too logical. It needs faith and belief in order to meet God, or to hear God. And so the only way for this space thing to be able to meet God is to basically infuse with a human and create a new life form. And that's where the film ends up going. Like, it's just like cool, like, you know, sci-fi, fucking mad, high concept stuff. Like, I was watching this movie, I was like, God damn, Star Trek is so different to Star Wars. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, there's like philosophical questions being asked in Star Trek, whereas Star Wars is like, the bad space Nazis, let's get them.
yeah. It like, that was always its thing, wasn't it? Yeah. It's like it would pose questions like in each episode, like Star Wars just science fantasy. Or is that even the thing?
I don't know.
It's I'd say just fantasy, really.
Yeah.
It's more fantasy than, it's not science fiction, I wouldn't say. Like, it doesn't explore any kind of themes or any.
There's no magic in it.
The
cool things are like, it talks about the rise of like fascism, and it has like magic.
Like, there's nothing there exploring technology or how science.
Star Wars
affects.
actually doesn't need to be set in space.
Yeah. Like, it does. There's no need.
Like, you could make the same thing and have it set in like a fantasy world.
Yeah. Whereas like Star Trek is the whole point, or the whole premise is that they can move. It's like this rogue ship that can move around and gets new adventures every episode.
The final frontier.
Yeah, the final frontier, and every episode is a new theme. Or I suppose that's what I imagine it is. You know.
Yeah, like there's a real sense of like exploration and like adventure, coming in contact with things that are not human and are impossible to comprehend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there's like a fucking What's the word? A not Lovecraftian. What's the other word for it? Cosmic horror.
Cosmic, yeah.
There's like a cosmic horror to what they're experiencing
Yeah.
in it. That's cool. Like, too bad that the movie is incredibly fucking boring. Like, Jesus, you watch this movie and
It's
you're
so
like,
cool, but it's so boring.
it's so fucking boring. Like, and this movie's like, I think is over 2 hours long, and it has no fucking right to be whatsoever. This is a 90-minute movie that is extended by 45 minutes.
In the 60s.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I think this is 70s. I think this came out after Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Let me double check that. Like, there's scenes in this movie that you're like, wow, you really took inspiration from 2001 because 1979.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Because like Spock basically has the scene from 2001 where, like, you know, he's in a spacesuit and he's traveling and there's lights and shit going by and he's seeing all this crazy shit. Like, it's not like the same visuals as that, but it's the same fucking idea. Like, exactly the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then like slow drawn out shots of like showing like a spaceship, you know, dock and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you're not like, you don't even vaguely look as good as 2001, and you're fucking 12 years after it came out.
Yeah. Was it was an actual movie or like was it a TV movie?
No, it was an actual movie.
Ah.
A motion picture.
A motion picture.
Yeah, it came out in cinemas and everything, and it's just like, yeah, I guess it's even longer than 12 years. 15 years? 2001, 1964?
69.
69.
I
Okay,
think.
this is
68 or 69.
Let me double check that. 2001 is... Nope. 2001 is 68. Yeah, so it's 11 years after.
Yeah, how did they do all that stuff in 2001?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Crazy.
2001's a mad movie. So yeah, and that's kind of a reason why also I'm like, I need to watch 2001 again.
Yeah. Let's do it. Next time it's on, we should go see it.
Yeah. I need to see it in cinema because I'll be way too bored at home. Alright, we go for a break. So, the movie that I watched for my Halloween watch, I guess, was I watched a little movie called When Evil Lurks. This is by the same director as a film that I watched last year on Halloween called Terrified. Not Terrifier, Terrified. Argentinian movie. It was I recommend Terrified. Terrified is like a really aggressive ghost movie. Like, these are some awful fucking ghosts. They will do awful fucking things to you. So I was looking forward to Evil Lurks because I heard like a lot of good things about it. And Terrified is better. Emo. Like, because with Terrified, I was scared watching Terrified. There's like moments in the film that genuinely scared me. Outside of one scene, which I wouldn't even say I was scared, it was just more the tension that was being built within the scene. Nothing in When Evil Lurks scared me nor really disturbed me. There's one scene that I would say that kind of disturbed me, but like, again, it's that in a bit. Yeah, so like, When Evil Lurks is based in a world where possessions are fairly frequent. Like, possessions are seen as like a kind of outbreak, like a disease.
Possessions. So wait, who's the director of this?
I have no idea what his name is. I'll pull it up. So like in this world, there's like, we're following two brothers, and they get called to a house. They hear stuff at night, and they go investigating, and they find a body like just cut in half. And they're like, what the fuck? And there's all this like equipment on the floor, and one of the guys is like, I kind of recognize what this is, but I don't know what it is. The director's name is Demian Rugna. How would you pronounce that?
Demian, Demian Runia or something.
Rugna, yeah. So like, they come to this gaff, and there is a fella in the back of the house who is like, he kind of looks like the whale,
The Brendan Fraser.
the Brendan Fraser whale,
Oh, okay.
but like, he's like half of his face is like this like boils and stuff like that, like these like awful red boils coming out of his face. He's like spewing bile and stuff like that. He's like sweaty. He can't move whatsoever. And they're like, what the fuck do they call him? They call him like a possessed or something like that. Like they know what that is straight away. It's not like, oh, I wonder if he's possessed. They're like, no, he's possessed.
Clearly.
And we know like we need to kill him. It's like, no, don't shoot him, because you know what happens if you shoot him. Because basically there's like a set of rules in this world where if someone's possessed, you can't kill them because with the shotgun or like a gun. I don't know what. It's always a shotgun in this movie, but like without a gun, don't shoot it because its evil will spread. If you touch it, make sure that you wash your hands because the evil can spread through the bile and shit like that of the person. Don't be afraid of dying, because if you do, the evil will manipulate you and get you to do things. There's a few other rules. Can't remember what the other rules are. But anyway, so like they're like, well, fuck, we gotta get rid of this thing because he's just gonna cause things to get worse. And they go to dispose of him, and they do it wrong, and he falls out the back of the truck after they've driven to another town, and they're like, well, fuck it, it's someone else's problem now. And then the fella that owns all the land, he is in his gaff with his pregnant wife, and his wife screams, and he goes outside, and she's like, look at that goat. And he looks at the goat, and it's an evil looking goat, and
It's possessed.
the goat like wanders up towards him, and your man's like, he has a gun, and she's like, his wife is begging him, don't shoot him, like think about what you're gonna do. And the goat is like, sticks his head up against the gun and is like, do it. And he pulls the trigger, and from that moment evil spreads. And so it's kind of like a possession movie, but it's a possession and kind of like an infection disease kind of pandemic kind of movie. Like the possession spreads to other people.
What is it like? What's like the theme? Or is it like a cycle of violence or something? No, it's just possession. Just possessions. Possessed goats.
Possessions are bad. I don't really know, because it's kind of like a zombie-ish kind of movie, but it's not that like, it's not like a zombie movie whatsoever. Like, that is the closest thing that I can kind of compare it to, because I don't know, I kind of feel like this movie had like a good idea, but doesn't explain the idea well at all. Like, it's like 45 minutes into this, like, you know, hour and 40-minute long film, where you get this set of rules that are given to you, and like what you're meant to do with, you know, with the evil, and no character follows those rules at any fucking point whatsoever. So I was like, why did you even bother? Why did you bother establish this rule set and none of the characters follow it? Then like the best scene in the movie, right, is the kind of main dude that we follow. He goes to his ex-wife's house, and he's like, we all need to leave. Like, there's a possessed in the town. Shit is gonna get real. We gotta fucking leave. And he starts taking off his clothes because he was dealing with the possessed dude. It's just like this kind of weird scene. We're trying to figure out like who everyone is and what the fuck is going on.
We gotta leave, guys.
Yeah, he's literally like stripping off his shirt, and his wife is like, "Why the fuck are you naked in my house? My husband's here." But they have a big dog, right? This is the best scene in the entire film, right?
Yeah.
They have a big dog, and the dog is sniffing and starts licking his clothes. So he starts, right? So tension starts building up in the house as everyone's shouting at each other, like, "We need to leave. Things are gonna get real." And then it cuts, and the big dog is beside the little girl, and you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do here? And boy, fucking howdy, do they go for it. When like the tension's building, and she looks at the dog looks at her, and then the dog lunges on her face. And it shows it. It shows. The dog starts ragdolling her around the gaff. The people in the house are still like roaring at each other so they don't hear what's going on. And it's like this awful moment where the horror is not the horror of like a possession here. It is just the horror of a big dog fucking up this little girl.
Yeah.
And so
is it CGI? I suppose.
Like it's CGI. It's a combination of like CGI and practical effects.
Yeah.
Because there's like there's a little boy that like looks underneath the table and you can see the little girl in the dog's mouth and the dog just like shakes its head and the body just gets strewn around.
Yeah.
And like fucking hell. Then the dog legs it out of the gaff with the little girl still in its mouth. And you're like, the horror of that scene is, oh my God. Like that is like so like realistic. That is a realistic thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, the main character that we're following, doesn't give a flying fuck because that little girl is not his little girl, so he doesn't fucking care. So like,
no one reacts to that.
No, the dad and the wife do, the ex-wife. They react, but the main character doesn't care because it's not his kid. He's here to get his sons that are in the house.
Jesus.
So you're kind of like, this dude's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel.
Yeah,
like,
you can't really sympathize.
I don't sympathize with you whatsoever now. You've also caused all of this by being like you knew that you had a possessed dude, and you knew that you dropped him off somewhere, and you just kind of know.
Yeah, I dropped him off somewhere. He's just gone.
He's just gone now. It's someone else's problem.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah,
though.
like it's like you are fucking assholes. So like then. And this is where the movie kind of starts to change, kind of, because the little girl then comes back and she looks completely fine. And then her dad, shoots the dog, and then he's now evil. So he rams his car into the ex-wife and the little girl, but he misses the little girl, I guess, and kills the ex-wife. And then, so, got the main fellow that we're following. He's got his 2 sons. One of them is heavily autistic, and... more on that in a fucking bit. Jesus fucking Christ. I'll tell you a bit. But like, I'm going to fully spoil this movie. I don't really think that people like.
Poor kid.
I don't really think that's like people were really like chiming up this movie, saying like, "Oh, this movie's really fucked up. This movie's really gory." It's not really gory. It just all the gory shit happens to children.
Yeah. Very rare.
Very rare. Like films don't really do that.
Yeah.
Like the majority of the gore is just done to the like the children in the movie. So it's like, wow, this is a bold, like this movie would not be made by Hollywood. Like
you wouldn't get past censors. Yeah.
There's even a bit where like he's trying to find the possessed thing in a school, and it's like a demon girl, and he just starts wailing on this little girl, like full on just smacking the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I was just like, fucking hell, like they don't even at that level, they don't depict that level of violence against kids in movies.
Yeah, it's kind of weird for the director. Like, obviously, it's a fake. It's fictional. Why would you choose? Like, it's not a bit weird. It's kind of off-putting. It's like the horror is like, why did you choose for all the, so much violence against kids and film? I don't know. Maybe that's just, moral panic.
It's gonna be
stuff.
like, look how depraved.
Everything
is.
Uh-huh.
But like for me, it just felt kind of cheap. It was just like
excessive.
It's like any movie could have, like, if other movies, I guess, had the balls to do this, they could do it.
Yeah.
Like the best scene is the scene with the dog, just because the tension building up on it, and then it's the shock of like, oh my fucking God, like you did this to a little girl. That is when the movie peaks, and everything after that is just like, it's not as good as the dog. It's just not as good as that scene with the dog.
It's just every movie for me.
Yeah, everything. Every single movie's like, it's not as good with the dog.
So where's the dog in this movie?
When we were watching 2001, it's like, it's not as good as the dog scene. So like, so like he goes off with like his brother, the main character goes off with his brother, his 2 sons, and he has his mom, and they're just trying to like get away from everything. And in that way, it's kind of like a zombie movie. And then the ex-wife comes back. And, like, my mom pointed this, because I watched this movie with my mom. My mom pointed out to me, why did, like, you're not going to be able to answer this, but, like, in the movie, the ex-wife got hit by a car and looks fucked up when she's, like, possessed now. The little girl got mauled by the dog, looks completely fine when we see her. She's not fucked up whatsoever, but the mom looks fucked up.
Yeah.
So there's no consistency in how this movie is depicting these demons and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
Then it's about him trying to find the OG possessed dude, because the possessed dude is gonna give birth to like a new form of evil. Okay. Like
A new form of evil.
yeah, like apparently if you kill the possessed dude, the OG possessed dude, apparently it will stop everyone else that is possessed. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
But apparently it's got something to do with that. And they fail, and the new evil is born, and then the movie ends with like the autistic son, because the other son ends up getting killed by the ex-wife. And yeah, whatever. The thing about the autistic son, right?
Yeah, fuck the other son.
The thing about the autistic son, right, is that they explain that what happens is first the demon possesses your body, then it possesses your mind. Right?
Yeah.
So they go off to this gaff with like this she's like a ghostbuster basically. It's kind of, the movie's kind of all over the place. It's kind of ex-ghostbuster woman, and she sees the autistic kid in the car, and she turns to the brother, not the main dude, but his brother, and says he's possessed. And he's like, he's not possessed, he's just autistic. And she's like, no, look at his hands, and his hands are all twinging up like they, like all like kind of bending backwards and stuff like that. And she goes on to explain that this happens with autistic people, that the demon can possess their body, but it can't figure out their mind.
So he's impervious.
It just takes a little longer for the demon to figure out their brain because they're autistic.
Because they're neurodiverse.
Yes. I don't know. Something about that feels a bit weird.
That is quite strange.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's just autistic.
He's just autistic. It's like, no, he's possessed by a demon. Look at him. He's non-verbal, and like because his brain works differently.
Yeah.
His brain isn't like other people's brains.
He unlocked the other 90% of his brain, so the demon can't get through the firewall.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's a fucking weird take to have.
Very strange, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And like, yeah, so like everything else in the movie is just like, because everything I heard about the movie is like, oh man, this movie's so disturbing, this movie's so fucked up. It's not even. It just does basic horror things. Like, outside of the dog, like the dog is cool. Like, I think the reason why people like really hype up this movie is that dog scene, because everything else is like, I've seen that before.
Not that good.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
It's really like, it's not scary at all. Like, at all. At no point in this movie was I in any way tense. Was I like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? Or like, no, I was kind of like, what the fuck is gonna happen? Because where the fuck is this movie going? And like, I don't know what the fuck. It's just throwing these things that you've been like, oh yeah, like if you kill this woman's now a ghostbuster and she knows how to solve this. And if you go off and you kill the OG possessed dude, you know, fix that. And all these kids that are in the school, they're also possessed because evil attracts children, and children are attracted to evil. And yeah, now there's like this newborn, like fully grown child that has been born from the possessed dude. And I don't really know the significance of any of that, because I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know. Does that mean the end of the world? Does that mean that this is going to continue going on? The movie doesn't even vaguely explain what the significance of that is. Is that the devil? I don't know. Like, no idea. No idea what the significance of any of this means.
What is this on?
It was on Shudder. I didn't watch it on Shudder, but it's on Shudder.
Okay. Yeah.
And like, even like the fact that like, oh, like possessions are like, you know, fairly regular. Like, they're, you know, people know what to do when they see a possessed person. So I'm kind of like, so does this happen frequently in terms of like, how many people have been stopped, giving birth to this new form of evil? Surely this has happened before. If this is a fairly regular thing that
It's totally normal.
normal people know what to do when there's a possessed person and there's a set of rules that you're meant to follow. Surely the devil's been born multiple times, so I don't really know if it is a big deal if he's been born again. I don't, because I'd assume that
There's some guy at the end of the movie who's like, this happens every fucking week.
Don't fucking worry about it. It'll be grand. Sure, our lives are ruined now, but it's not the end of the world.
Maybe it's a metaphor for COVID, the pandemic.
I really, 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 really hope it wasn't. Really?
Why?
Oh, I'm sick
It's
of that.
But to be fair,
Halloween Kills wasn't even about that, but Jesus,
Halloween Kills is the only film that properly did it, and it made No, it is. It would be a terrible idea, but the public knowing the rules but not following it, the new normal, all that stuff.
Maybe it is that. Jesus.
Could be. I don't know. It's just a fun thought experiment, perhaps.
Yeah,
There's
maybe
the
it
rabid
is.
dogs eating children and stuff.
Yeah.
Remember when that happened?
No. What do you mean when that happened? Was that a thing?
Yeah, every week it was happening. During
Oh
COVID.
yeah.
The dogs that catch COVID and eat children. Yeah, dogs could catch COVID. Remember that?
Yeah.
Dogs and cats. My cat had COVID.
Yeah, my neighbor is really afraid of my cat because he's like, I don't want to get COVID off your cat. Fair enough.
Yeah, the first time we had COVID, my cat was going around the gaff sneezing for a week or two afterwards.
I think that they lose their sense of smell.
I
That
hope
would
not.
fuck up a dog.
She definitely had long COVID. She was sleeping 18 hours a day, no motivation to do anything. She's very fatigued.
Cats just do that in general now, isn't it?
She's always had long COVID.
Yeah, it's
It's alright, is it?
yeah, it's fine.
Terrified is better, yeah.
Oh, Terrified is much better. Terrified is has scares in it that I have not seen before and stuff like that. Really innovative. Whereas this one, it's innovative in a certain way, but also really it innovates in a way that isn't interesting.
Yeah.
I guess.
In the wrong direction.
And not even in the wrong, kind of in the wrong direction. I don't know. Kind of just does things.
Too many directions, maybe.
Yeah, it's just fucking sort yourself out. Pick what you Again, it's
Cop on.
so much going on, and none of it is very interesting. It's out of that dog scene, man. That dog scene, fucking hell.
I'll have to see that dog scene.
Yeah, no, I'll show you the dog scene afterwards, but it's a good scene. Yeah. Sorry. If I was to give half stars, 2.5 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
2.5. Harsh.
But because
fair.
it's again an uninteresting movie
Yeah.
and not terrifying, not disturbing. I feel it really. I think it tried to be disturbing by being oh, we're doing this thing to kids, but fuck kids, I don't care.
The film didn't take into account. I don't give a fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids, I don't care. And you know what happened to them? No one in the movie got as bad as that little girl, and she turns out to be completely fine afterwards. So I was I don't fucking care. She might be possessed, but physically,
She's perfectly attacked.
yeah, her face isn't mauled.
Yeah,
so who
yeah.
cares? Yeah. Sorry.
Fair. I won't watch it then.
But
But I will watch the dog scene.
Yeah, I'll show you the dog scene.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Will we move on to our recommended movie?
Let's do that.
It's The Ring. Ringu, 1998. OG Japanese version.
What a great year that was.
Directed by someone that has done multiple things. Directed by Hideo Nakata. God, I definitely butchered that pronunciation. I also am completely lying. He hasn't done much. He did Dark Water and other movies about the Ring. He did. No way. So there's the not Ubol. Is Ubol the really bad director?
Yeah, he's the guy who did Assault on Wall Street and all that.
What the fuck is the guy's name?
What? Who you talking about?
Gore Verbinski.
No, Gore Verbinski. He's got
No. Yeah, no.
He's
Gore
just a strange
yeah,
track
he
record.
no, he just has a strange name. I was it's not Ubol.
Just a weird,
Gore
just a
Verbinski.
weird name.
Hideo Nakata did the sequel to Gore Verbinski's remake of The Ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
That's
'cause
weird, isn't
That
it?
is weird. It's like we're gonna make a sequel. We're gonna like we make
Maybe like John Carpenter making Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah, that is, yeah.
Or
Yeah, no,
Halloween
yeah.
2, the new Halloween 2.
No, yeah, no, that is literally what it is. It's
Yeah.
as if he did Halloween Kills. Like,
It would have been good then, yeah.
or like, yeah, if Japan made a remake of Halloween, and then Japan got John Carpenter to make the sequel to that remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. Because he did the OG sequel
Spiral.
to the Ring, as in Ring 2.
Oh, Ring 2 as well.
That man has made 2 films called Ring 2. That is interesting. No, sorry, I lie. He made Ring 2 and then he made The Ring 2. So there you go. Because the American film is called The Ring. But anyway, yeah, this is like the... I'm going to go on a limb. I have no real data to back it up other than the vibes.
Totally unfounded assertion.
This is probably... Only because I can't think of another one. This is like...
The greatest film ever made.
No, there's definitely not that. This is the most important Japanese horror film in terms of getting Asian horror into the West. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Based on my very limited knowledge of Asian horror, I would agree. But
Yeah.
just based on in terms of how iconic, everyone knows what The Ring is.
Yeah.
It's so iconic. It's ridiculous.
It's like 7 days, but that's not even in this movie.
Yeah, I was waiting for that as well.
Yeah.
It's just like a screech on
That's
the phone.
in the remake.
Yeah.
So maybe the remake is the most important horror remake.
There you go.
Maybe.
This goes to show cultural appropriation.
Yeah. What did you think about The Ring?
The Ring, a lot like, wait, what was I talking about earlier? It's not what I expected. Maybe The Exorcist. Yeah, The Exorcist 2. It's not like that at all. But in another different way, it is like that. In terms of, I wasn't expecting The Ring to be the film that it is.
Yes.
I was expecting a horror film. I was expecting, scares. I was expecting more kind of prominence for the ghost. I wasn't expecting the Scary Movie 3 parody to be scarier than The Ring.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Weird. Couldn't get over that.
Very strange. Like, this is it's like a noir mystery film.
Yes.
Than it is a horror film. I wouldn't call this a horror film at all.
Yeah.
Well, like, it has horror elements, but it's not. I
Like-
wouldn't say it's a horror film. The same way I wouldn't say Psycho is a horror film. You know, it has elements.
I mean, I think the general public would be like, that is like, I know, like,
Yeah.
academics and stuff like that, but like, well, obviously it's a horror film, but in terms of like, its focus isn't on horror. Or no, I guess it is, but like, the experience of watching it is that it is basically a slow burn mystery film.
Yeah.
That ends up with what they're investigating is a ghost.
Yeah.
And kills people I couldn't get over that as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, the bit like they reveal the faces of like people like when they die, and it's like it's just someone like going with their mouth up. Immediately my mind was like, the faces in Scary Movie were scarier.
Yeah.
Actually more fucked up looking.
They were there's something way more uncanny about them.
Mm.
But it was like a parody. Like the Scary Movie parody is actually scarier than this film. Because it is kind of creepy with the uncanny parts, and then like obviously it's playing into the cultural imagination of this film as like iconic horror film. I was expecting that going into the film for the whole film to be like that, but taken on a more serious level. But it really isn't. It's a slow burn, as you say, kind of. It's like something.
Is Scary Movie more so taking a piss out of the remake?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's definitely making, because I do remember the face from the Gore Verbinski remake. I remember the face, and that is what's been taking the piss out of Scary Movie. Is the Gore Verbinski movie better?
What would you say?
More than I'm thinking, because I was like, nah, definitely not. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
that is scandalous.
is it? I don't think it's not a better movie, but I think it's a better horror movie.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed to say that. If I'm allowed to say, I don't know if I can say that, but
I don't know if you can say that.
maybe I'm not allowed to say that. But it's definitely more horrifying. There we go.
Yeah.
The Ring remake is more horrifying than the OG Ring, but it's not as good as a movie.
You know, it's good. Like The Ring is a good movie. It definitely is.
Oh yeah.
And given the time when it comes out, 1998. What was the other film we watched? The Japanese film, that was kind of dealing with. It was like found footage kind of stuff.
Oh,
What was it? Pulse?
A Cult?
A Cult, was it?
A Cult. The one where the found footage movie, and the guy is going to reenact a bombing or a massacre.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't really remember. That was early 2000s, wasn't it as well?
Kind of late 2000s, I think.
Was it? Okay.
I think it's like 2008.
Yeah, I just think the way the film deals with.
That movie was good.
Yeah. That was a good film.
Good cosmic horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But I think the way this film deals with technology is quite interesting. But I don't think it's horrifying. You know, I think it's more like it's more like a procedural noir detective story which has like undertones, like kind of thematic social undertones, and then also there's a ghost involved as well. But the ghost doesn't really need to be in there. All the stuff about psychics and magical powers and spirits, they don't really need to be there.
Yeah.
And if they do need to be there, they're not really. I don't think it feels like the director and the writer don't really have any interest in making them that scary, or as the focal point of the film, you know?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because it's like a combination of different things. Because I don't think that the film, at certain points, like doesn't really focus on the ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. But having said that, it lends itself to this tone that is throughout the movie, and the tone is constant dread. This is like there's just this feeling of hopelessness throughout the entire movie. That like these characters are trapped and that they aren't going to be able to resolve the situation that they're in, and it turns out at the end that like some of them don't. Like the solution that they come up with isn't the correct solution, and they fail partially. And the only way to save yourself is to, pass it on to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That like, what is her name? What's the ghost name in this? Sadako?
Sadako. I think it is. Yeah.
What's someone from The Grudge called?
Don't know.
Juan. I don't remember what her name is.
Joanne.
You're
one.
Yeah, one. There's a movie about the ghost from The Grudge fighting the ghost from The Ring. It's like a Freddy vs. Jason, but in terms of like Japanese horror. Like, we got two fucking spooky women with long hair.
Yeah, who's gonna, I don't know, out haunt the other.
Yeah, who's gonna fuck up? I think they actually go to blows. Like, I'm pretty certain. But yeah, because I think this movie's like, it's not like scary, but it is like it's got constant dread and like misery throughout the entire thing. Like even like the story of Sadako is like really sad. It's not fucked up, but it's really sad.
Yeah. It's like it's heavy thematically in terms of like, I don't think horror is the focal point of the film, but the focal point more so, I would say, is the like old Japan. It's like a classic kind of Japanese thing.
Yeah.
Old Japan versus New Japan. Like New Japan is your one her, the main character Raiko.
Sure, yeah.
I think that's how I pronounce her name. She's like a divorced journalist who has a son, and I don't know if she like kind of resents the son in some kind of way. And obviously like it's kind of the new modern technology kind of embodied in the VHS.
Mm-hmm.
The use of the TV, and through the TV you have this old these old recordings of a girl who like died many years ago, who is now like a spirit, like a character from medieval or ancient Japanese folklore, is basically haunting the present with past trauma via new technology, you know, which isn't like that scary. It's more like just kind of, it's, you know, interesting thing to think about, and it's maybe specific to Japan in terms of, especially in terms of how they deal with it. I feel like it's very Japanese. The way they deal with it seems very Japanese to me.
Yeah.
You know, because I just feel like I've seen it before, or like that's kind of a recurring theme in Japanese cinema. It's just this battle between the old and the new, and here it's like the new is kind of a portal, or like modern technology is like a portal through which old grievances and grief and trauma can haunt the present.
Yeah.
And there's like, they've no interest really in dealing with it properly, processing it. Like as the end of the film shows, like I don't think it's gonna, you know, like It Follows is the same kind of ending.
Yeah.
But like It Follows is just, that's kind of the point of the film. It's just kind of scary. It's like, oh, it could be anywhere. Anyone could be, you know, it.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it seems like it's more like a social point. She just wants to fucking pass it on to anyone else.
Yeah.
She has she knows she's like laden with this trauma, this burden, this guilt, that's been passed on to her, and now she just wants to fucking get rid of it, spread it to someone else, and be done with it.
Fuck 'em.
You know, but maybe that's not as scary as that's definitely not as scary or as maybe as like direct as I thought the film was going to be. You know.
Yeah, because like it's definitely much more, as we said, like a mystery movie, like trying to figure out, you know, what this is. Because like the film starts like horror movie, like straight up horror movie. Then she watches the tape, and it's kind of creepy. And then you see Sadako at the odd time every so often, but then it's much more so. What is this backstory to Sadako? Like, how do we stop this? And then you get the ending, and it's like one of the most famous endings in all of horror is Sadako coming out of the screen. You're like, oh, it's the TV. The TV is evil.
Yeah.
And then you get the whole ending, but it is like long portions of this movie is just people investigating like a ghost story, and like I think it's really interesting because like this movie is so incredibly influential. Like It Follows. Like without The Ring, you don't get It Follows.
Yeah.
Without The Ring, you don't get Smile. So you know, taking off points for The Ring for that.
It's destroyed The Ring's legacy.
You know, without The Ring, you don't get like a craze of Japanese horror films coming into the West, and like us being able to see these movies now. You don't get a variety. In fact, you probably, is this a bold take? Fuck it, I'm gonna make this take.
Oh.
Without The Ring, you don't get like just Asian films in general getting more of a shot in the West.
That is a bold take.
That is a bold take.
But I recognize that. That's real.
It's one of those movies that's like just like broke out of Japan and made it like big in the West.
Yeah.
I think.
No, yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
I'd say you're right.
I'm really hoping that The Ring isn't only famous because it's an American remake. I like to think that the American remake got made because The Ring was big enough to warrant it.
I think that is how it worked. Yeah. Right. I think it was pretty big. There's also talking about, there's like a theme of sequels on this episode. The Ring is a weird film where there was already a book and I think TV movies and a series made about this beforehand.
Oh, weird.
So this is actually an adaptation, this film. And they were so confident that it would be successful that they released the sequel at the exact same time. Spiral. It's called Spiral.
What?
Yeah. Weird, like really weird. They produced The Ring or Ring at the same time as they produced its sequel called Spiral, because it was already like an existing kind of story that everyone was familiar with, and they were sure that it was going to succeed. I just thought that was very strange.
That is strange. I'm trying to think. Shit, is it the ending of Spiral that I've seen a million times, or is it the ending of The Ring?
What do you mean?
Or is it because there's so many?
Well, the end of The Ring is.
God, man, talk about fucking. So there's related films on Letterboxd, right? Ring 2, Ring 0, Spiral, Sadako, Sadako 3D, Sadako DX, Sadako 2 3D, and Sadako versus Kakako, which is the demon from
Kakako.
The Grudge.
Ah.
Yeah, and then you got The Grudge as well, which Ju-on is not as good. Not as good as The Ring. Definitely not as good. Still good, but it's not as good. Man, I wouldn't even be arsed doing one of those franchises. And I mean, the Japanese ones. I wouldn't be arsed doing that.
Yeah, we've run out of steam very fast.
Fuck that. There's already, even doing the American ones. Fucking Jesus, there's so many.
Is there?
Like, well, outside of The Ring, there's The Ring and Ring 2. But like the Grudge movies, there's The Grudge, there's Grudge 2, there's Grudge 3, and then you got the remake from 2019 called The Grudge as well.
Really? There's a remake?
Well, a reboot, I guess.
I missed that.
Yeah, and like from this movie, you get like, I'm forgetting. Like you get like One Missed Call because of this movie. You get The Eye. Was that one of them?
The Eye. Yeah. Yeah, that was with Jessica Alba, wasn't it?
Yeah. You get Shutter? No, is One Missed Call the one with Jessica Alba, or is it The Eye? Which one's the Japanese one? Yeah, you get the Shutter, which is the American remake of the original one called Shutter. One Missed Call. Yeah, no, yeah, right. The Eye is the one with Jessica Alba. God damn. They made a lot of American remakes of Japanese movies, didn't they? And this is the first one. This is the one that kicked off all that. Highly influential movie. But like, no, what I expected it to be.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect that to say. I still recognize the realness of this film. I still
the importance.
I feel like it's thematically a lot weightier than I expected, which I think balances it to an extent. Also, though I was kind of hoping it'd be really scary because it's Halloween, but
yeah, it's not really that scary.
It's really not scary at all.
No.
But it's also really well shot. It's really well shot. Sounds really cool.
Oh Jesus, man, the sounds in this movie.
It's really cool. Like the design of the tape. Like obviously, there's no way you can kind of like properly encapture the like a haunted tape on screen, and that's why they don't show it for the first like hour or whatever. But when they do show it, it is interesting. Apparently, they filmed it. They shot it in film, then converted it to video, and then added more effects on top of that. And then there's like special effects in there as well. And like deliberately, they use like certain techniques just to make it seem like
gritty as fuck.
Yeah, make it seem like an impossible kind of like impossible perspectives and geographies within like the girl in the mirror with there's no reflection. All that shit. And it comes off like off-putting, like a creepy pasta kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's 1998. Like it look like if it was released today online, it was like lost media. There'd be a whole fucking subculture for it. You know, like
there'd be so many creepy pastas about it.
Yeah, exactly. But this is 1998, and they just kind of knew what to do with it. I think it's technically speaking, it's really well done, film.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
So yes, Mark, what is your recommended movie for episode 127?
That's a great question. My recommended film is Hour of the Wolf by Ingmar Bergman, our good friend of the podcast. 1968 film. His only horror film, a film that I haven't seen yet.
I know that we've done Bergman movies before, but have we recommended?
We have not, as far as I remember.
Did we do Seventh Seal?
We did, yes. Well,
we
did.
We just watched it.
I think we both just watched it. Yeah. Actually, no, I watched it as well. I remember.
I can't remember. Did we do that? Let me check it.
We did indeed. I don't think it was recommended though.
Nope. Yeah, this is our first time. Yeah.
Yeah, first
recommendation. What the fuck we do? We did this podcast for 3 years.
We're doing all these dweeb films.
Fucking, we've been doing this podcast for 3 years and haven't done. We've never recommended a Kurosawa film. We've never recommended a Bergman film. What do we do?
Who's that?
Kurosawa movies are too long, but we'll change that. We will change that.
We're
Mine.
about to take a pretentious turn.
Yeah,
I'm not watching a single English language film for the next 2 weeks.
We've been looking at our like list of recommended films from this year. We're like, we need a few bangers.
Yeah.
We need something that's gonna pull it out of the bag.
Last minute job. We need to get a few decent films
We
in
have
here.
4 episodes left from this year. Something good needs to come out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.